What's up, VC? Here we go. Gonna keep this stuff rocking and rolling here. We've got just still going through the stuff that I purchased a while back. Hope y'all are doing well. We got some snow here today. Very beautiful. Just not enough of it. All right, we got Daryl Hall, John Oates, Private Eyes. I got on a little Daryl Hall and John Oates kick. Nice sleeve there. Like I said, I finally got into them. I never had before, and I found a lot of their stuff for cheap. I don't know how cheap it is now, but got good deals on it, so I pulled the trigger. Oh boy. What did I say about that? Private Eyes. Side B, I listened to a lot. Side B on that album is absolutely amazing. I didn't even really have any comments for side A, so I would just chalk it up to it probably being good songwriting, but side B was really intense. I don't like to buy albums and keep them if I don't like the whole thing. So I'm going to have to listen to that again and see if I want to keep it. But there was a noticeable difference in the quality, I guess probably in the songwriting on side B. All right, we've got Stacy Lattisaw and Johnny Gill. Perfect combination. Oh yeah, that Private Eyes was 19. Oh damn. What year was this? 1981 was Private Eyes. And so just so you know, some of the big songs, Private Eyes, I Can't Go For That, Mano a Mano, and then like I said, the whole second side, it's all B-sides, stuff I'd never heard of before. Head Above Water, Tell Me What You Want, Friday Let Me Down, Unguarded Minute, Your Imagination, and Some Men. Dude, yeah. All right, so we've got 1984. This is Stacy Lattisaw and Johnny Gill. It's called Perfect Combination. So Johnny Gill was in New Edition, who I freaking love. And I bought this not knowing what to expect. Cool Atlantic sleeve there. There you go. And I had no idea what to expect, wanting it to be, some New Edition style stuff. And I don't think I was very pleased. It didn't produce what I wanted it to. It's it's standard 1980s stuff, and it's kind of wannabe Madonna stuff. I also wrote, these are notes from, I listened to all this stuff about a year ago. If you've been watching my videos, but I'd like to kind of keep reiterating that. This stuff is not fresh in my mind, so I'm having to refer back to my notes that I made. What does this say? Oh, it misses the mark. It has a slight R&B tilt to it, but it was just unimpressive. Not really what I was looking for. So we've got Chaka Khan, 1980. It's called Naughty. Jesus. That's an interesting cover here. That's her and a young child. And I think that's the same child from the back. It's got a little hype sticker featuring the songs Clouds and Papillon, aka Hot Butterfly. What label is this even on? Oh, it's on Warner Brothers. Oh, I got a neat That's a cool shot of Mrs. Shaka Khan. I don't know her actual name. Yeah, can't remember that. Typical Warner Brothers labels from the mid 80s. Didn't know what to think of this either. Just bought it. You know, hey, I take a chance on stuff. I'm not scared. I see stuff, and some of it's from my childhood or early teens, late teens. And I want to revisit it because, you know, when we get older, our palates, our musical palates change, our ear changes. And sometimes I hope that, I'll hear this differently than when I did when I was younger and maybe be able to appreciate it more. So, what my description of this was soft funk, and it just farts along. So you can decode that however you will. Next we've got Billy Higgins bridge work on Contemporary Records. I believe that's Arches National Park. I've camped there. Highly recommend it. It's 1987 on, well, this is Fantasy. Let's see, who's playing on this? We got Billy Higgins on drums, Harold Land on tenor saxophone, Cedar Walton on piano, Buster Williams on bass. Right on. The second side is Higgins on drums, James Clay tenor saxophone, Cedar Walton on piano, and Tony Dumas on bass. Figured look at that little Fantasy sleeve there. I don't see that very often. Some neat labels there. Pretty clean. This thing didn't get played very much. Yeah, so Billy Higgins, one of the players that I like, so I'm gonna pick that up and check it out. What did we say about this one? Absolutely awesome. It has a late 50s, early 60s style, and it's almost avant-garde. So, Billy Higgins bridge work, get that. I can't wait to listen to that again. I don't have any Billy Higgins where he's the lead on anything, I don't think. So, that turned out to be a good one. If it's avant-garde stuff, I'm down. Free jazz, I can't handle that too well, but avant-garde, I'm all over it. We got Solo, Kai Winding. Definitely didn't know what to think. I really liked the cover. My Kai Winding stuff is usually going to involve J.J. Johnson, but I couldn't really figure out what was going to go on. But I looked here, and the lineup was very pared down. So that's usually a good sign. The songs were kind of short though. This was recorded in 1963. The players are Kai Winding on trombone, Ross Tompkins on piano, Russell George on bass, and Gus Johnson on drums. And then Tommy Chick subs for Gus Johnson on drums on some other songs. And then Dick Garcia is also on guitar. So this is an old Verve with an RCA inner sleeve. Oh yeah, I love those old Verve labels. It's cool stuff. I am thinking that this was a win. Like I said, it's in a sleeve. It's so like an outer protective sleeve. So that means I liked it. What do we have to say about this one? It's gonna be jazz, man. Early 60s jazz. Very playful. It gets hard in some spots, and there's some dissonance here and there. Very pleasing to the ear. So, Solo, Kai Winding. Awesome. We've got K and JJ Israel. CTI, arranged by Sebeski, Johnson, and Winding. It's a mono. Looks like a mono promo. And who we got on this? We have trombone, JJ and Kai. Bass, Ron Carter and Richard Davis. Grady Tate on drums, nice. Eric Gale and Bucky Pizzarelli on guitar. Herbie Hancock and Ross Tompkins on piano, electric piano, and harpsichord. Eugene Bianco on harp and Al Brown on viola. Wow, we got a bunch of violin players, a cello player, flute, oboe. Yeah, there's a lot of people. So, cool. A&M Records. I don't think I have an A&M, or haven't ever seen an A&M promo before. Pretty cool. This was at Goodwill at one point for $1.19. I'm not sure where I got this, to be honest. Somewhere in my travels, endeavors, whatever. What do we have to say about this one here? Good Lord, we're going to leave that out of the sleeve. Pardon me. Like I said, I don't really get into the orchestrated stuff. It's kind of a cool cover. And it had J.J. Johnson on it, and Kai, so I figured I'd take a chance on it. It was too orchestrated. I thought it might be better, but it's interesting. It's kind of like a movie soundtrack. So, tread carefully if you see that. We got some Dave Brubeck. Brubeck time. Looks like we got a mono copy here. Got Joe Dodge on drums too. This looks like it was maybe recorded in 55. Here we go. Dave Brubeck Quartet. So that is going to be, oh man. Well, Joe Dodge on drums, Bob Bates on bass. Oh, I'm not familiar with him either. Dave on piano, and oh, come on. There we go, Paul Desmond on sax. Oh, nice. Got a nice 6-eye Columbia mono there. I'm sure this was a great record. I love Brubeck. I got a ton of Brubeck, and I think there's only one of his albums that I don't like. I think it's the Southern brass harmony thing, whatever. I think I showed you the back, yeah. Show you the front again. Pretty nice saxophone hanging out there with a little gleaming starburst on it. Brubeck time. It starts chill. It gets quirky 3/4 of the way in, and then it settles back. So there you go. And I don't know if I've ever heard that Brubeck, to be honest. I've got a bunch of Brubeck, but just never picked up that particular one. All right, we've got Miroslav Vitos, Mountain in the Clouds, with John McLaughlin, Joe Henderson, Herbie Hancock, Jack DeJohnette, and Joe Chambers. I've heard some other Miroslav stuff, but I've been wanting to pick this up because I heard it was really good. I think Dave told me about this album. So yeah, you've got Jack DeJohnette on drums, obviously. Looks like Joe Chambers replaces DeJohnette on drums for some stuff. But Miroslav Vitos, bass, Joe Henderson, tenor sax, Mahavishnu, John McLaughlin on guitar, Herbie Hancock electric piano. So yeah, 1969. Got some typical Atlantic sleeve and cool Atlantic labels for the era. Yeah, I was really happy to find this. I had to pay a little much for it. I didn't want to, but I did. Every once in a while, I'll kind of pay full price for stuff. All right. Yeah, Dave was always introducing free jazz to me when we lived together. But I can act, and I didn't really like it, but I can actually get with this. The drums seem to hold it together just enough. There's beautiful production on this album. I mean, just beautiful. And the music here is soft, but it's angular at the same time. I know that makes no sense at all, but that's my description. I'm sticking to it. All right, we got a little compilation here. I usually don't. I will purchase these, especially if it's somebody that I don't have, and like I don't have hardly any Yusef Lateef. It's hard to get, hard to find this stuff. This is the complete Yusef Lateef. Looks like 1968 was when this was released. I don't know when the songs were recorded. It's on Atlantic. It's in stereo. There's no other dates on here. But we got Yusef Lateef, Hugh Lawson, piano, Cecil McBee on bass, Roy Brooks on drums. Lateef plays flute and finger flute also, and tenor sax as well, and alto sax. So he's doing a lot of stuff here. Sylvia Shimwell joins the above on tambourine, and the vocal on one of these songs is by Yusef Lateef himself. So I got some more standard late 60s Atlantic labels. God, this thing has not been played either. But you know, I've always liked this guy, and I just can't ever find his stuff for a reasonable price. So I found this and said, all right, boom, I'm going to get to hear some stuff. This was light and fluffy, nothing hard, but straightforward. Very easy to listen to, but it was quite upbeat for being light and fluffy. The music was quite upbeat, like the whole way through, and very straightforward. So the light and fluffy part, I don't know. I wish I could go into more detail about what that actually means. That's just the inner workings of my brain talking, giving the best descriptors that I can. We got Ahmad Jamal, Volume 4 on Argo. He is my favorite pianist, even though I love Dave Brubeck. Ahmad Jamal I like his style better. Oh yeah, I got some old Argo labels here. Well, I don't know how old they are, but oh, I'm sure this was a good record. I've noticed with some of the Ahmad Jamal stuff, oh, come on, that some of his stuff got released and re-released, and then they called it different things. Like they released the album and then re-release it later under a different title. So this looks like it came out. Oh man, I'm not gonna get there. And I don't know if this is his trio or what. It's not giving me a lot of. Dang, yeah, it's not giving me anything. It was recorded on location September 6, 1958 at the Spotlight Club, that's LITE, in Washington, D.C. Yeah, I'm not getting any players on this. I'm sure it was with a band. It's definitely not solo. So what do we have to say about this guy? Smooth and steady, just good old Jamal. Light on its feet too. That sounds like a lot of his stuff I've listened to. He is. You kind of know what you're gonna get when you get a Mod Jamal. Sometimes that can be a bad thing, but with him, it's a good thing. We got Cal Tjader, Concert by the Sea. I never leave any Cal Tjader behind as long as it's affordable. I will not leave it behind. This is recorded. No, not gonna get it. Oh man, it's on Fantasy, but it's this kind of label. You guys would know it better than I would. What era that is? See if I got a year on here. Nope, I do not. Anyway, man, Cal Tjader is good. I'm not. I don't think I own any Cal Tjader that I don't like. Just honestly, so far, and I purchased a lot of his stuff because I get lucky and find it. I do have to pay a little more for that than the normal stuff that I get. Like instead of a couple bucks here and there, maybe 10. I got to pay a little more for Cal Tjader, but I don't mind. He's one of the people that I guess I'll collect. This is Pimp Diggity, all right? Slow, it's sexy, and a tad wispy. It's mostly grounded, however, so it's not so wispy that it's out there. It's grounded stuff, and this is a chill album, but it's kind of one of those albums where it's day, morning, night, late night. You can pop this in, and it's got just the right amount of chill and the right amount of pimpadelicness that it works. No matter what time of day you're wanting to chill out and let's do some good jazz. All right, this was the first album by Charlie Byrd that I ever heard. I think I have it on CD, and I've been looking for this forever. It was cheap. It's on Riverside. Charlie Byrd, an amazing guitar player. There you go. Yeah, man. Never heard a bad Charlie Byrd album either, and I picked up a bunch of them because people are sleeping on Charlie Byrd, man. I don't know why his stuff doesn't go for more. Maybe because he was prolific and they pressed a lot of it. I'm not sure. But we got Charlie Byrd on guitar, unamplified guitar on side one, Barry Harris on piano, and we got Keter, Keter, Betts on bass, and Buddy Dippenschmidt on drums. He plays with that Dippenschmidt guy a lot. Looks like this is... No, I'm not going to get a year on this. But cardstock looks like some early 60s stuff. Some mono pressing. Oh, let's see. Yeah. So this record turns every genre on its head. It was my first Byrd ever. I've always wanted to review this. It is absolute guitar mastery. This is somewhat dark, but lively. It's even trippy at points. And that's why I love Charlie Byrd, man. You think you know what you're going to get with Charlie Byrd, and his albums totally take on a life of their own as they go along. It's pretty impressive. He's just so versatile. Very entertaining to listen to. Love that guy. We got Accent on Africa, the Cannon Adderley Quintet. Oh, this is a great cover. He's holding looks like an alto and a soprano sax, getting it done. God, somebody wrote all over this thing. Oh, let's see what year we got here. Man, I'm not going to get that for you either. We've got, God, man, who are the players on this? Come on. It's produced by David Axelrod. That's good. Dang. He's playing a Selmer soprano saxophone and a Veritone and a King Super 20 alto saxophone. I can tell you that. Nat Adderley does appear on this through the courtesy of A&M Records. But I'm not getting, I can't tell you who else played on this. So, that's strange. Capitol Records. And I'm into Cannonball. Some of his stuff gets a little bluesy, but not too much. I can handle it. I mean, if it gets too bad, I'll just trade it in or sell it or whatever. Man, this thing's in a rough shape. Don't want to handle that too much. What do we got? Okay. A little too many instruments for me, so there must be a lot of players on that. What's a Cannonball Adderley Quintet? But somehow Cannonball kept it directed, even with the multitude of instruments that are on there. The drumming and rhythm sections are killer on this. So if you're into the drums, you're gonna like this album. It was overly very musical, but it's got some soul and soulful jazz, which I'm not too big on, but it held it together. I can't wait to listen to that again because I love my description there, especially the part about him keeping it all directed and the rhythm sections being awesome. That's good. All right. Thanks again for hanging in there with me. I'm powering through this stuff. I hope y'all got snow wherever you live. Unless you live up north and you probably hate it. But for us down here in the south, we love it. We don't get it like we used to. Take care, BC.